Hi everyone, welcome to Mystery and Mayhem. I hope everyone's doing well. I decided to take a break from my Sumerian September reading to share with you a mail haul that I received yesterday from a generous viewer and fellow booktuber. Now I received 2 boxes from Rick over at Double O Pipe. And in perfect Mystery and Mayhem fashion, I filmed a video of my unboxing, but I screwed it up. So you're going to have to settle for just seeing the books that I received in a book haul video today. What I received was most of the early hardcase crime books, the early mass market paperback editions. Now, Hardcase Crime, for those of you who don't know, is an imprint that was created by Charles Ardai and Max Phillips. I do believe it was in 2008. I could be wrong, ulmaybe it was 2003, where they decided to recreate the old paperbacks from the 50s and 60s with pulpy covers, the really good covers, and the crime stories, and they wanted to recreate those type of stories and print them in these mass market paperbacks. So Rick was kind enough to send me, I think I counted 60 paperbacks for these books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them all, and I'll show you what I received in the mail haul. There's a lot, so I'm just going to go through them real quick to show you the covers. I mean, the covers are beautiful. The books are in pristine condition, and I'm very happy to get them. And I'm very appreciative of Rick, and I thank him very much for this. It was very, very kind of him to do. So we'll just go through these. We'll start with Lawrence Block, who most of you will know who Lawrence Block is. I think Grifter's Game was the first book in the series. And here we have A Diet of Treacle. Lawrence Block, Lucky at Cards. Now, they would contract a specific set of artists to do these. Glenn Orbick being one of them. Robert McGinnis was another artist that they used, and yeah, it was all newer artwork for the most part. Gregory Manchess was another artist. I think that they would contract to do some of these covers. So there's another Lawrence Block, Killing Castro, and that might be a Glenn Orbick cover. I'm not too sure. So those are the blocks that I got. Now I've got some Allan Collins novels. 2 for the Money. That's Allan Collins' Nolan character. And here we have a Ms. Tree novel. I think the first Ms. Tree novel. You might know her from the comic book series written by Allan Collins. And this is Deadly Beloved, which features this character, Miss Tree, Michael Tree. And here we have the first Quarry. Quarry in the middle. And the last Quarry. But as far as I know, Allan Collins is still writing the Quarry novels, and they're still being released by Hardcase Crime. I think actually he just has a new one out now, or very soon, as a matter of fact, where his character Quarry comes out of retirement. Here we have Little Girl Lost by Richard Alias, which is a pseudonym for Charles Ardai. And this features his PI character John Blake. And here is another John Blake novel by Richard Alias, Songs of Innocence. And that is a Glenn Orbick cover. What a great artist he was. And here we have a David Dodge, Plunder of the Sun. The Last Match. Now, I've read a few of these. I've got a few of these myself, and I've always enjoyed reading them. These are just great novels, a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to eventually getting around to reading most of these. That is by George Axelrod, Blackmailer. And this is Casino Moon by Peter Blauner with that great cover. Now we get into some Ken Brune and Jason Starr books, which I think was a series. That one's called Slide with that awesome cover. Bust, again by Ken Brune and Jason Starr. The Max, that's an awesome Glen Orbit cover right there. Now we get into some Donald E. Westlake. This one is called Memory. And I think this might have been the last one in the mass market paperback size. I could be wrong on that, but it was one of the later ones. And we have 361. And this incredible cover called The Cutie, Donald E. Westlake. And this is Lemons Never Lie. This is, I do believe this is a Parker novel. This is under his pseudonym Richard Stark. Donald E. Westlake writing as Richard Stark. And those are very, very good novels. Westlake, you can't go wrong with Westlake. He's a great writer. So now we get into standalone novels. These aren't series, and I think these are all separate authors now. So we've got one by Jason Starr called Fake ID. Dutch Uncle by Peter Pavia. House Dick by E. Howard Hunt, of all people. And that's vintage keyhole cover. You'd see a lot of those on covers back in the day. A lot of these old pulp crime novels, you'd see a pretty girl or a dead body through a keyhole. So that's got a good history, that type of cover right there. Very iconic. And here we have Say It With Bullets by Richard Powell. And Fright by Cornell Woolrich. The Guns of Heaven by Pete Hamill. Top of the Heap by Earl Stanley Gardner. This is Donald Lamb and Bertha Cool mystery with that very vintagey, retro-looking cover. And this is one of my favorite covers in the series. And this is Glen Orbit, I do believe. Zero Cool by John Lang. And that's just a very, very neat cover. All the covers are like awesome. You know, they're all have that vintage look to them. This is Nobody's Angel by Jack Clark, which a lot of these have been reprinted in the trade paperback size. I actually do have this one in a larger trade paperback size with a different cover. The Dead Man's Brother by Roger Zelazny, who's better known as writing the Amber series, the fantasy series. Home is the Sailor by Day Keane. Straight Cut by Madison Smart Bell. And these are all in just great condition. Witness to Myself by Seymour Shubin. Now we've got Fade to Blonde by Max Phillips, who is one of the creators of the Hard Case Crime imprint. And I think he actually designed the logo and the whole look of the series itself. So that's just an awesome cover, and that is by Gregory Manchess, I do believe. And this one's interesting. Okay, this is by Robert Bloch. And what we have here, Shooting Star, and it's a double paperback like the old Ace books. And this is Spiderweb, again by Robert Bloch. And it's too bad that had to be put there to cover up the cover. But yeah, that's kind of cool, and that's the only one I think, as far as I know, that they did like that. There might have been one or two others, but I don't have them. Here's another neat one. This is the cover was printed sideways. Losers Live Longer, and that's by Russell Atwood, and that's a Robert McGinnis cover. So I mean, it's red normally, but it just has that sideways cover, which is very, very cool. I love that. And then we have Gunwork by David J. Shaw. The Corpse Wore Pasties by Johnny Porkpie. This one looks intriguing, actually. I think Johnny Porkpie is the character in the actual story. So that should be interesting. And here we have The Valley of Fear by Arthur Conan Doyle, which is a Sherlock Holmes story. Tangentially a Sherlock Holmes story. It actually tells, most of the book is another story told in Mormon, Utah, I do believe, if I remember correctly. And here we have Stop This Man by Peter Rabe. Now, a lot of these authors are authors from back in the 50s and 60s who wrote these crime paperback originals for imprints like the Fawcett Gold Medal and Signet paperbacks. But yeah, they were well-known authors back in the day, and it's nice to see them reprinted in more current paperbacks. And Peter Rabe was one of those authors. And here we have The Confession by Dominic Stansberry. A great Robert McGinnis cover, Kill Now, Pay Later by Robert Terrell. Passport to Peril by Robert B. Parker. Now, this isn't the Robert B. Parker of Spencer fame. This is another Robert B. Parker from way back in the day who wrote, this is a fairly famous novel. I have this in another Dell Mapback paperback from the 40s. So that's just a very cool cover, and it's nice to see them reprinted again in these volumes. The Vengeful Virgin by Gil Brewer. Another famous author from those paperback originals back in the day. Well recommended, Gil Brewer. Robbie's Wife by Russell Hill. Now, the Hardcase Crime books interspersed reprints with newly written stories. And usually you could tell on the top, Complete and Unabridged would be a reprint. And then the new ones on the top would be the first publication anywhere. First publication in 45 years. That one is a reprint. But usually, first publication anywhere that'd be the clue that it was newly written. So this was a reprint. And we have one by one of the other originators of the Hardcase Crime imprint, 50-1 by Charles Ardai, with that awesome Glenn Orbeck cover. And I think this gave a list. It showed inside all the paperbacks that were printed up to the date of the printing of this book inside. So here we have Kiss Her Goodbye by Alan Guthrie. Mike Shane mystery novel by Brett Halliday, Murder Is My Business, with that Robert McGinnis cover. The Wounded and the Slain by David Goodis, another Glenn Orbeck cover. Here's a Mickey Spillane book, Dead Street, first never before published. And Honey in His Mouth by Lester Dent. And that cover looks like McGinnis, but it's actually by a man named Lesser. Ron Lesser did the cover. Very reminiscent of Robert McGinnis, but that is a Ron Lesser cover. And here we have Night Walker by Donald Hamilton. Here we have one by Ed McBain, The Gutter and the Grave. Stephen King with a Glenn Orbeck cover, The Colorado Kid. Branded Woman by Wade Miller, another paperback original author from back in the day. And we have Money Shot by Christina Faust, with that excellent Glenn Orbeck cover. And then we have Robert McGinnis cover, The Peddler by Richard S. Prather of Shel Scott fame. So yeah, that's all the books I received in my book haul yesterday. And I'm sorry that I screwed up my unboxing video, but it wasn't fit for public consumption. Let's put it that way. And but this one was. I wanted to share these with you, and I wanted to again thank Rick over at Double O Pipe for being so generous and sending those to me. So I will talk to you guys soon. I'm gonna probably put up a Sumerian September video tomorrow or very soon. I'm knee deep in reading Conan pastiche novels, and I'm going to share that with you very soon. So you guys take care. I'll talk to you soon. Keep reading.